Good evening. Welcome to Good evening. Welcome to ONV as we present a healthy conversation. I am Nurse Pat. Our guests this evening are Dr. Marrisa Culver, Latrece Johnson, Tamika Conway, and our topic is senior health care. Tonight, we're going to talk about some of the things that seniors are faced with in their health issues, and Tamika and Latrece will tell us about some of the things that they have to offer to the community. We're going to start with Dr. Culver. If you will introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Good evening. Thank you all for having me. I'm Dr. Marrisa Culver, nurse practitioner.
Latrece, if you will introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Latrece Johnson, owner of Angels Helping Angels Home Care Services.
Tamika.
I'm Tamika Conway, and I'm co-owner of Angels Helping Angels.
And again, thank you, ladies, for being on the panel tonight. Starting with
Thanks for
Dr.
having us.
Culver. Since I fit in that age group of a senior, tell me some of the things that seniors are faced with in the healthcare.
Wow. Well, we can be here all night talking about that, Pat. I'll be honest with you. But something that is near and dear to my heart is senior citizens. My mother passed when I was younger, and my father is 80 years old now, and I just want to make sure that he's getting the best care that he can get. But when people ask me, Marrisa, what's the biggest thing that you treat? What's the biggest thing? And the odd answer is loneliness. That is the biggest thing that I treat. Our senior citizens are so lonely. And you're very fortunate. I know, like, you have family that here to support you and things like that. But there's so many people in the community that don't have that support. They don't have family to check in on them or to bring them food. When you have to decide between, do I pay my rent or do I buy groceries? Or do I pay my water bill or have water in my home or have electricity? Or do I go to the doctor and pay X, Y, and Z? So for seniors in particular, a lot of heart health is a big thing, is something that we face. I always joke with my patients and tell them what you do when you're younger, it catch up on you, because it really does. As you get older, the things, unfortunately, that we did in our past, they come up on you because your body is getting older. Your heart's been beating for a very long time, things like that. So it impacts your health in so many different ways. But overall, the biggest thing that I treat personally is loneliness and a lot of heart disease and diabetes, especially in the Black community.
Why do you think that's in the Black community more than the other ethnic groups?
Yeah, because of the resources that we had. We can stem it back to slavery. Honestly, we can. We had to take whatever we can and the scraps that we received, from the table and things like that. And we don't prepare things the best. We had to add flavors to it and butter and, fry things and things along those lines. So in the Black community, we still do those things. We're not practicing necessarily healthy diets. And let's be honest, like here in Fort Wayne, Southside is like a food desert. You don't see like healthy grocery stores over here or like a Trader Joe's or things like that or Fresh Time or anything along those lines. So it's a culture that they kind of put us in. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. It's a culture that they kind of put us in, and it's something that we have to break generation to generation. So teaching people how to eat healthy and not necessarily frying everything. But, it's nothing wrong with eating fried food every now and then. But every day, that's when it gets tough.
Now, she mentioned loneliness. Tamika, how would your organization help someone that is faced with that don't have family members to drop in on them every day or to assist them in getting what they need?
Well, with Angels Helping Angels, we're a personal home care service. So, and the majority of our clients do just want that companionship. Like they can fend for themselves the most part, but they just want someone to come in and talk to them. So we try to express that with our aides. Like, don't be so rushed to go in and just do your job. Take time out to see how their day is going and just make it seem like you're there for them because sometimes we're the only interaction that they get.
Yeah.
So when you're there for that hour, 2 hours, or however many hours, make it worthwhile for them so they won't feel so alone. So that's how we can help.
And
So important.
Dr. Culver, again, what are some of the things that women, just mainly women, face when it comes to health care? What are some of the diseases or the illnesses that women have to look out for?
The biggest thing actually is for women and men, surprisingly, but it's heart disease. I believe the American Heart Association quotes that 1 out of 3 women would die from a heart attack or a stroke. That is, one of us. Let's be realistic. It's 4 women in here right now. Those are harsh numbers. Those are really harsh numbers. And for men, I know we're discussing women right now, but for men, it's 1 out of 4. But it's really all about the heart disease. Yes, there's cancers and things along those lines, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, things of those natures, cervical cancer for women in particular. But our number one death is heart disease and stroke.
Now, I had the opportunity today to be in a meeting where the American Heart Association had teams present and teaching them about hands-on CPR. But one of the numbers that struck me when they were doing the video was that women are less likely to receive CPR than men. Why is that?
Because women are most likely to let their symptoms go by the wayside. As a mother, we spoke with before starting is that, you kind of let your symptoms go by. And in healthcare, just as well that you don't think you're as sick as you really are. And as women, you're so busy doing X, Y, and Z. And honestly, we think of heart attacks like, oh my gosh, I'm having this massive heart attack. A lot of times it's not that massive, like dramatic type of heart attack. It can just be something really subtle. Like you're having these weird palpitations and like, oh, that was kind of weird. What's going on there? I'm a little short of breath today. Oh, women, I gained about 5 pounds. That's probably why I'm breathing this way. Things like that. So we don't take our symptoms as serious. That's a lot of times what it is.
Okay. And we want to get Latrece in on this conversation. And as Tamika was saying about loneliness, what are some of the things your organization offer to your clients?
That's a good question.
We offer, we can help them make their meals. We offer helping getting them dressed. We offer companionship. We offer taking them out in the community. We also offer just someone that you might need for any of your like daily activities that you just can't do on your own. So any of those things that you may need. We can't do anything medical yet. We are looking to become medical, but anything that you need that's non-medical, we pretty much can help you do it.
And Dr. Culver touched on finance. I need your help. How do I afford you?
Right now we have Medicaid waiver. So with a Medicaid waiver, if you go to, I'm going to forget it.
Agent
and
and
In-Home
Home
Services. Agent and
They're
In-Home
great.
Services can help sign you up for Medicaid waiver. And that's something that we do accept. So if you can't afford to pay out of your pocket, you can get on Medicaid waiver.
Okay, thank you.
That's awesome.
It is. And back to you, Dr. Culver. We were talking about women. Now men are hard-headed.
Oh, my heavens, honey.
They don't like the word doctor.
Sure don't.
So what are some of the things that men face that they really need to pay attention to?
Everything. No, I'm kidding. They need to listen to the women in their lives. That's what it is. No, but along with women and men, heart disease is the main thing. As I said, for women, it's not more that dramatic, oh, I'm having a heart attack. But for some men, it can be, where their left arm can go numb. They're having like pain up into their jaw. You know, some people chop it up to, I'm tired, or I've been working out in the yard and I'm just a little sore, or something like that. But another high rising death for men, especially in the Black community, is prostate cancer.
Okay.
And it's happening younger and younger. Prostate cancer and colon cancer. So getting your prostate checked, you tell a man that, they like, oh no, baby, what you talking about? You got to check my prostate. Like, we're not doing that. Like, you know, I'm like, listen, calm down. Like, we could just do a blood test. We could do a blood test, you know, like, things like that. But just being more informed about what's out there for you and the testing that's available for you. But prostate cancer and colon cancer seem to be the two things, because most men don't want anything stuck in them. So that's the first thing they think about is like, oh, I don't want you to have to do that. Like, not you of all people. God, no, not you. You know, that's what they always tell me. But another thing is the blood pressure with the heart disease. White coat syndrome is real. It is very real. So a lot of my guys, honestly, have white coat syndrome, which is when you come into the doctor's office and they, you know, we wear our white coats and things like that. And then your blood pressure go up and you're like, okay, what is she going to tell me? It's going to be bad news. Oh my goodness, you know, things like that. So when I see my patients, I usually don't wear my white coat. I want you to be relaxed. I want you to come in. Let's chat. Let's chill. You know, let's discuss some things to make it a little bit at ease, because that blood pressure shooting up increases your chances of a heart attack and stroke.
Now, over the years, and I've heard, as being a nurse, well, I got to die with something.
Go out with a bang, right? That's why I tell all my men that want Viagra, I'm like, hey, go out with a bang. Why not? I'll write your script. Come on. I'm not going to stop you.
Because you do hear that a lot
Yeah.
with people when you try and tell them. Because now, do you find a lot of your patients non-compliant with their medications?
Yes. Hopefully they're not watching this. Call y'all out. No, I'm kidding. But yes, non-compliance with medications is real. And, you know, it stemmed back for the medical field, not trusting, not being able to trust, like, why you trying to give me meds, all these drugs, and, you know, things like that. So a lot of times people want to try natural route, which I am not against natural at all. I practice natural remedies myself personally. But there are some medications that's very beneficial for you. As I tell my patients, like, you know, it's very important for you to take this medication. I can't force you to do it, but it's important that you take it. But the issue with the non-compliance is not necessarily you're stopping it. It's you're stopping and then continuing it. Okay, for like a month, I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to take it one day here. And then I'm going to take it one day here. That's not what's good for you. And that's not what's good for your system.
And how do you encourage them?
So I make them come see me more often.
That's good.
I make them come see me more often, and they love it because it helps with the loneliness, honestly. And I love seeing my patients. I absolutely love seeing them. I make them come see me more often, or I encourage them to come see me more often. And then I also, we do pill checks, like, hey, bring your bottles in. Let's talk about your pills. And I explain at your level why you're taking this. And I also evaluate everything. Like, maybe you don't need to be on all these medications, you know, that you're taking. Especially if I have patients that come to me from another provider. Oh, I've been on this medication for 20 years. Okay, well, let's look at all of these meds. Mm-hmm. Do you really need to be on 10 blood pressure pills?
Okay.
You know, like, it's other things that we can look into. Like, have we tried like diet changes? Have we done exercising? A lot of our senior citizens, you actually get free membership to the Y. You know how expensive the Y is?
Yes.
And you got a swimming pool, you got classes, you got, you know, all this fun stuff that you can do, and you can go there for free. And it's right down the street. It's right down the street. But just getting them, building that trust with them, honestly, has been so helpful with it, because they know that I'm not steering you wrong. Mm-hmm. And you have to know that your providers are there for you and to help you. I always tell my patients, you're the pilot. I'm the co-pilot. We're going to fly this plane together. But at the end of the day, it's your body. And I can't force you to do anything. I can't force you to take any medications. But I want to give you educated information about the medications.
Sure. Now, Tamika, Latrece said that you guys are not dealing with medical right now. But let's say you came into my home and I've got all my pill bottles sitting here. How would you kind of coast me into at least finding out if I'm taking them, and if I'll coast me into taking them. What kind of conversation would you try to get me to take my medicine?
Me, I would just ask, hey, did you take your medicine today? And if they say no, then I'll be like, oh, okay. And ask if they have a reason why they didn't. Did they not get around to it? Do they not know how to open up the bottles? But they usually have like a family member that we can contact to make sure that they're up on their meds and stuff, being that we can't personally like set them out for them and all of that. And so we just, if it's like a continuing thing, like you won't just jump on it like the first day you go in and like, oh, okay, we gonna keep a watch on it. Like, but if we go in for like a week and it's still like the same number, then we're gonna contact the family member and be like, hey, I don't think they are taking their meds, so you might want to come in, check on them, or try a different approach. You got your med boxes that they have, and not just a whole bunch of pill bottles, because that can be confusing for them. So they can probably even overdose if they feel like, oh, hey, I didn't take my med today, so let me. So usually they have them in a pill box where it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and or if they do it twice a day, they have the morning, evening, and so we'll definitely have someone in place to make sure they're getting their meds how they're supposed to be getting them.
Okay. And now, Latrece, you come into my house and I'm grumpy today.
Ooh, she mad.
I don't want to eat.
Time to go.
I don't want you wiping my table down. I want you to get out of my house.
I think this sounds familiar.
We've had that situation many of times. So in that case, we ain't gonna leave you by yourself, but we will like just step outside for a second, give you time to cool down. And like she said, we do have that person that we can call in your family. So we'll reach out to them and let them know what's going on, and they'll either advise us as to what the next steps do, or they will come and help with the situation. And majority of the time, they can help to get the client more calmed down and everything, and us to go in and have a better day. But sometimes they just need a break, and they not used to people coming in and helping them do things if there's something new for them. So you just gotta go at their speed. So we'll try to do that majority of the time.
Now, how do you introduce yourself when you first come into a new client to make them comfortable with you, a stranger coming into their house?
Well, me in that case, I've always go in and introduce myself, who I am. I'm Latrece. I'm from Angels Helping Angels. I'm here to help you with whatever it is you may need help with today to get your day started. It'll be something like that, or majority of the time they can speak to you and tell you what they want you to do. So they know what you coming there for. They want you to do what they need you to do. So they more so start the conversation if they're more comfortable, or someone that isn't comfortable, then you will have to be that starter of that conversation.
Okay. And back to Dr. Culver.
Ma'am.
I'm just one of those patients. I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Even though I'm sitting in your office.
That's okay.
I'm not going to take those pills
That's
that you
okay.
just gave me. And I'm not coming back.
Okay.
My blood pressure, I've lived like this all these years. What make you think my blood pressure's high?
Well, Miss Jones, that's why I'm gonna call you Miss Jones, okay? No. So in those situations, I run across that as well as they have multiple times. And you have to come from a place of love. And today may not be the day, honestly. So in those situations when I have patients that express themselves of that nature, I ask them, okay, what do you need from me? What can I do for you today? Is there anything going on? Because a lot of times they're angry, and it's not they're not angry at you, but maybe they lost a loved one and they don't know how to handle that. Or, maybe they're tired of everyone telling them what to do. And the big thing is maybe you're losing your independence, and it's scary. It's scary. You've been, like you said, your body all your life, or you've been doing X, Y, and Z all your life. And now your daughter's coming over saying, Mama, take this medication. You're not taking this. You're not doing this. Mama, we're going to have someone come in and help you. And you're like, hold on, it's my house. What you doing? I pay the bills in here. It happens. So in those situations, I listen to the patient and see what's going on. All right, you don't want to come back? Miss Jones, I really, really want you to come back and see me, but maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. What about in a week or so? Can I call you? Can I call you just to check on you and see how you're doing? Things along those lines. And I personally call my patients. They know I call them, but I call them and they know, and they call me and they're like, I need to speak to Dr. Culver only. And they don't want to talk to anyone else. And I'm like, okay. I've called patients at 9 o'clock at night because I'm working at that time, and I'm just like, what's going on? I saw that you called me urgently. But I didn't have time to get to my message earlier that day. So building that connection with them. So you may not want to come back and see me right now, but eventually I'm going to love on you so much you're going to want to come back. And then eventually you're going to take your medications.
Do you feel that finances sometime causes the patient to be non-compliant?
Absolutely. Medications are expensive. They are expensive. The one good thing about the healthcare field is there's a lot of resources out there. As they mentioned, agent and in-home services have fantastic resources for patients. But there's a lot of things with the insurance. As providers, we can look into sending like alternative medication that's in the same class per se, that may be a little cheaper. But it's really bad when patients get in a donut hole. If you got Medicare, Medicaid, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That donut hole is when you're out there, it's literally a hole, and now you have to pay for everything out of pocket. That's when it get really expensive, and that's when we have to get creative with how we're taking our medication and how we're getting our medications, and the type of dosages that we need to do for our patients, because finances play a huge part into it. Because I said before, do I pay for my pills or do I buy food? Or do I pay for my rent? I can't afford rent nowadays is expensive.
Very.
It's very expensive, and people can't afford to pay for that and then paying $900 for an inhaler.
Yes.
So I'm just going to be short of breath for some time, or they're going to come and see me every day until I can give them nebulizer treatment or whatever they have to do, because they can't afford to pay for that. And they don't have like the support, like family or things like that who can chip in, or sometimes their family don't even know that mom or dad is struggling to pay for those things.
Now, Latrece, Angels Helping Angels.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you came up with that name?
I love
and
that.
what does it mean to your organization?
I don't know. I feel like that God actually came up with that name because it just came to me out of nowhere. I've been knew I wanted to do something like this, but I didn't have a name per se. And I just thought about, I feel like we as the workers should be angels too.
Yeah,
The care, I think, to the clients, but I also feel like the clients are angels too.
absolutely.
So I just said Angels Helping Angels.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that name. I do. I love that name. And that's why I wondered, how did you come up with that name? And Tamika, how do you fit in being an angel, helping an angel?
I fit in like she was saying, she came up with the name. We used to work together. Well, we still work together. But I met her working at a nursing home, and one night she came in. She was like, "I got a name for the company." I said, "Well, what is?" And she was like, "Angels Helping Angels." I said, "You know what? That really fits us because we have our residents. Because we take that extra step with them.
Yeah.
They call us angels. They say
Aw.
they truly believe that we're their angel, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can roll with that because I feel like I am an angel. Because
Yeah.
when it comes to the elder, it's just my natural instinct to just step in and just do what I can because I don't want to see them suffer. And I feel like mine come from I never got to meet my grandparents,
Okay.
so I look at them as my grandparents, and I treat them how I would have treated my grandparents if they were still here, if I had have met them. So every time I do or go to work or work with a client, that's what I think of. Like,
Yeah.
this could be my grandma, this could be my grandpa. So how would I treat them if that was, the case? So that's how I go into it. So
Now, how would either one of you, how would my children contact you to come in and help me? If I was the one needing that help, how would they know to reach out?
well, your kid's just gonna text me or call me. So with no regards to the business phone, none of that. Like,
You know, if we
Tamika
got to
was
connect.
like,
We're going to use that
yeah.
connect. Like, hey,
So, but
my mom need
no,
help.
you can reach us at Angels Helping Angels LLC.com, or you can reach our office at 260-387-7579. So, and we're real local. Our office is on Lake Street or Lake Avenue, so we're in the heart of the community. So, yeah.
Oh, love that.
Okay.
Love that.
I love that.
We
Good.
have a Facebook page as well.
Yeah, I forgot
Okay.
about
Angels
that.
Helping Angels.
Helping
Okay.
Angels. We got that.
And on your
I'm gonna use all
Facebook
this.
page, do you tell them what you offer?
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Oh.
try to keep it active and up to date and try to get our name out there. So,
Good.
yeah.
I love that.
Good.
Love that.
Thank
And
you.
Dr. Culver,
Yes.
I'm searching for a doctor.
Come on, honey.
How can I find you? Are you on Facebook,
I
or do
am.
you have some way that I can just go and say, okay, this is
So believe it or not, the funniest way to get in contact with me is my husband. I am so serious. He has so many people call him like, "Hey, I need to get in contact with Dr. Culver," and he's like, "Okay, well, let me just set you up. Hold on." Like, but I am on Facebook. You can always reach out to me on Facebook. As I said, my husband is another great contact for me. He's like my secretary almost. Don't tell him I told you that. But no,
He's
he's
listening.
probably listening. I'm sure he is. But he does. And my husband's a pastor, and so I have a lot of connections within the church. So a lot of patients come from the church, and so they know how to get in contact with me. And so they tell their friends, and that becomes a way of doing that as well. So through my church, Jerusalem Baptist Church, 1151 Francis Street, or you can always contact my husband or contact me on Facebook.
okay. Yes. Well, good to know. So,
Yes.
when you got this old lady coming in that's non-compliant, because
Come on,
I
honey.
tell my kids all the time, I'm going to be that one. I'm not taking my medicine. I'm not eating that food.
Well, listen, if you start now, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Ooh.
If you start now.
I'm a nurse. We're the
I know,
worst
we're the worst.
patient.
Oh my God. The worst patients ever. All about medical people. You're the worst.
Definitely.
We'll be dying on death's bed and trying to. My husband's like, "You want to go to the ER?" I'm like, "No, that's so embarrassing." Like, he's like, "Well, that's what it's used for." I'm like, "I don't need to go. I'm okay. I'll diagnose myself. Like, I'm good." No, we are the worst. So if you start to incorporate a healthy diet, how about that? We start small. That's the big thing. Start small. Walking every day. Walking every day.
That's the word. Just as long as you don't use the word exercise.
That's right. We're afraid of that word.
That's
So that's
a
why you just
dirty
have to say
word.
like, "Hey, just walk every day." Do you walk? Okay, maybe walk to your mailbox and back a couple of times. You got stairs in your house, go up and down your stairs a couple of times. You can't say exercise. You have to incorporate some fun. You dancing. There's a lot of chair yoga, all that fun stuff.